Hello students, from this lecture we are going to study chapter 13, that is photosynthesis in higher plants. In this chapter main topics are importance of photosynthesis, early experiments based on photosynthesis processes, site for photosynthesis, then pigment system in plants, about light reaction, ETS, electron transport system, then formation of ATP and NADH, C4 pathway, photorespiration, and main factors affecting the process of photosynthesis. First of all, some common information related with photosynthesis process. As you know, photosynthesis process take place in green plants. Green pigments are responsible for this process. All animals, including human beings, depend on plants for their food requirement. But how these plants they get their food? Because they also synthesize their own food, and then we depend on these green plants. Green plants in fact have to make, or rather synthesize, the food they need, and all other organisms depend on them for their food requirements. So we can say green plants, they are autotrophic plants, they can prepare their own food, and other heterotrophic animals they depend on this green plant on their food requirement. You are already aware of autotrophic nutrition. It is found in only green plants, and other organisms they depend on green plants for their food requirement. They all are heterotrophs. This is main difference between autotrophs and heterotrophs. Green plants carry out photosynthesis, which is a physico-chemical process by which they use light energy to drive the synthesis of organic compound. So we can say by using sunlight, light energy from sunlight, various chemical processes take place here, and at the end of photosynthesis process they can prepare their food in the form of sugar, starch, and O2 is released. Ultimately, all living forms on earth depend on sunlight for energy. The use of energy from sunlight by plants doing photosynthesis is the main base of life on this earth. That we can understand here. Photosynthesis is important due to two reasons. These reasons are the primary source for the food requirement on this earth, and they release oxygen from this process, and this oxygen is required by this type of living organism. Here we are going to study about the machinery of photosynthesis and various reactions that transform light energy into chemical energy in detail. Now let's try to find out that you already know about the photosynthesis. It is based on some simple experiments that you know also, and I think you have also studied in your earlier classes also some basic experiments related with photosynthesis process. So chlorophyll is a green pigment present in leaf. The light energy, that is sunlight, and CO2, they are main requirement for photosynthesis process. Some simple experiment which can show the process of photosynthesis, that is starch formation in two leaves experiment, where a dedicated leaf or a leaf that was partially covered with black paper and exposed to light. On testing these leaves for the presence of starch, it was clear that photosynthesis occurred only in the green plants of the leaves in the presence of light, not other plant or part of green part that is responsible for photosynthesis. So green part is required, that is leaf in presence of sunlight. Here photosynthesis process take place. Some other basic experiment that is based on this photosynthesis concept, that a part of leaf is enclosed in a test tube which contains some potassium hydroxide of cotton. It can absorb carbon dioxide and the other half is exposed to air. This setup is then placed in light for some time. On testing for the presence of starch later in the two plants of the leaf, must have found that the exposed part of the leaf tested positive for starch. It means that it shows presence of starch, and another portion in the test tube it is tested negative. It means that here there is no presence of starch. So we can say in one part photosynthesis process take place and in another part the photosynthesis process it does not take place. So it showed that CO2 was required for photosynthesis process. So sunlight and CO2, these are basic requirement for photosynthesis plant, and as well as chlorophyll, green part of plant, these are basic requirement to carry out photosynthesis process in plants. Now let's discuss some experiments which are known as early experiments for photosynthesis process to understand clearly about photosynthesis process. So many scientists are there, they have carried out some experiment based on photosynthesis. Joseph Priestley in 1770 he performed a series of experiments that revealed that essential role of air in the growth of green plants. Priestley discovered oxygen in 1774 also. Priestley observed that a candle burning in a closed space, this means a bell jar, soon gets exhausted. That is, similarly the mouse would soon suffocated in a closed space. He concluded that a burning candle or an animal that breathed the air both somehow damage the air. But when he placed a mint plant in the same bell jar, he found that the mouse stayed alive and the candle continued to burn. Priestley hypothesis as follows: plants restore to the air while breathing animals and burning candles remain. In this figure you can see the arrangement of Priestley experiment. Now so examine it yourself, study it yourself, both figure, compare them yourself in figure first and figure second. What is the main difference? Now you can understand, you can easily find out that what is the difference of this experiment. In first figure the condition of mice, and in the second figure the condition of mice. You can check out it yourself, and now you can have some idea about the experiment carried out by Joseph Priestley regarding photosynthesis process. Using a similar setup as the one used by Priestley, but by placing it once in the dark and once in the sunlight, in Jen House, another scientist showed that sunlight is essential to plant process of this experiment. This is related with photosynthesis. In aquatic plant showed that in bright sunlight small bubbles were formed. We can clearly observe these bubbles in aquatic plants around the green parts, while in dark they did not observe. Now how these bubbles are formed? Later they identified that these bubbles actually which can clearly observe in aquatic plants to be of oxygen, because during photosynthesis process oxygen is evolved and CO2 is used up. So he showed that it is only the green part of the plant that could release oxygen. So CO2 is consumed and oxygen is evolved or released during this process. Another scientist named Julius von Sach, he provided evidence for production of glucose when plants grow. Glucose is usually stored as starch, that is product of photosynthesis. His later studies show that the green substance in plants, that is chlorophyll, present in green part of leaf is located in a special bodies, and then this body, then later on they were known as chloroplast, that is one type of plant organelle we have studied in detail also within the plant cell. Then we found that the green parts of plant is where glucose is synthesized, and the glucose is usually stored in the form of starch in green plants. Then some interesting experiment conducted by T.W. Engelmann. Using the prism, he split light into its spectrum component and then illuminated a green algae, Cladophora, placed in a suspension of aerobic bacteria. Bacteria were used to detect the site of oxygen evolution. This scientist observed that the bacteria accumulated mainly in the region of blue and red light of this split spectrum. First action spectrum of photosynthesis was thus described. It resembles roughly the absorption of spectra of chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. Then some other scientists also conducted various experiments based on the process of photosynthesis or to know about detail in photosynthesis. One of these scientists, Cornelius van Meel, a milestone contribution by this understanding the process of photosynthesis is given by this scientist, which is based on his studies of purple and green bacteria. He demonstrated that the photosynthesis is essentially a light dependent reaction in which hydrogen from a suitable oxidizable compost reduce carbon dioxide to carbohydrates. So, he explained the process of photosynthesis in this way. In green plants, H2O is the hydrogen donor and is oxidized to oxygen. In some organisms, do not release O2 during photosynthesis process. When hydrogen sulfide H2S instead is the hydrogen donor for purple and green sulfur bacteria, the oxidation product is sulfur or sulfate depending on the organism and not oxygen. It is interesting here. He inferred that the oxygen evolved by the green plant come from H2O, not from carbon dioxide. This statement is very important. Oxygen evolved by the green plant at the end of photosynthesis process. It comes from H2O, not from carbon dioxide. It was later proven by using some radioisotopic techniques also, and he corrected equation related with photosynthesis process, and ultimately the universally accepted equation was proposed by that later on regarding photosynthesis process. And as you know very well, that is 6CO2 plus 12H2O in the presence of sunlight, it gives C6H12O6 plus 6H2O plus 6O2. So this way various scientists they proposed various experiments related with photosynthesis process, which factors are involved. Light reaction is must, light is required, then CO2 is required to release oxygen, and some other factors related with photosynthesis. And by these experiments, the evidence they achieved therefore photosynthesis process, that for this process CO2 and H2O are required. Light energy is essential, and at the end of this process, as a result of this process, the food is synthesized, glucose, which is stored in the form of starch. Then oxygen is also released in atmosphere, and some molecule of water, H2 also. So primary requirement for photosynthesis process, a molecule of CO2 and H2, sunlight is essential, and ultimately the product of this is carbohydrate in the form of food, H2O and oxygen. Where does photosynthesis take place? It means that now we are going to discuss about the site for photosynthesis process. Can you imagine where the site for photosynthesis in green plants? You have already studied in your earlier chapter also about plant organelle which is present in green plants, that is chloroplast. It is responsible for photosynthesis process and it is exactly site for photosynthesis process. All green leaves, they possess this plant organelle where exactly photosynthesis process take place. So we can say chloroplast is a plant organelle where the photosynthesis process take place. Now in plants, mesophyll cells are there. You are already aware of anatomy of green leaves. You have studied the anatomy of green leaves where mesophyll cells are present in leaves. They have a large number of chloroplasts. Usually the chloroplasts align themselves along the wall of mesophyll cells. So they get a maximum quantity of this light. So this type of arrangement is observed in this mesophyllous cell, which facilitate the process of photosynthesis. The arrangement in chloroplast organelle, its anatomy, you have already studied in your previous chapter also. Within the chloroplast, there is a membranous system consisting of grana and other stroma lamellae and matrix stroma. So these are main parts of plant organelle named chloroplast where photosynthesis process take place. This figure is actually electron micrograph of chlorophyll. So plant organelle chloroplast where within this chlorophyll is present. So it is about electron micrograph of chloroplast where we can say chlorophyll. So green pigment is present. Here you can see it's a double membranous structure, outer membrane and inner membrane. The main parts of this structure, that is grana and stroma. Here you can see the various arrangement and grana and stroma are there. Stromal lamellae is there. Then grana, granum is there. This tactile coil structure is observed, which is known as thylakoid, and which possess green pigments where exactly photosynthesis process take place. Then you can here observe the ribosomes. Then as a food product, let's say starch granule are also present. So here within this organelle, the dark reaction and light reaction related with photosynthesis take place here. So now we can understand by studying this figure where is the site for photosynthesis process within this plant organelle. Now we can understand it's a double membranous structure. The membrane system is responsible for trapping the light energy and also for synthesis of ATP and NADPH. In stroma region, enzymatic reaction synthesize sugar, which in turn form of starch. The former set of reaction, since they are directly driven the light, called light reaction, which is actually photochemical reaction. Then the later, so which is not directly light driven but are dependent on the product of light reaction, that is ATP and NADPH. So this way is distinguished later, they are called dark reaction. So mainly two reactions are carried out. First, in which light is essential, that is light reaction, and another dark reaction for which the light is not essential. So this way reactions based on light, that is light reaction, and reaction which are not light dependent, it's a dark reaction take place here for the mechanism of photosynthesis process. So light reactions and dark reaction, they are main phases of this photosynthesis process. Pigments involved in photosynthesis. Now you know very well, it takes place in green part of plant. Chlorophyll pigment is responsible for process of photosynthesis or mechanism of this thing. But you have observed in your surrounding also, in plants not only green color is observed in all leaves, but actually it shows some shades of green color or some other color shades in plant. Why it is so? Because not only green color pigments are, only one type of pigment is present, but some other pigments are also present in green plants, and it can be separated by using technique known as paper chromatography. Chromatographic separation of the leaf pigment shows that color we can see in leaves is not only single pigment is responsible, but actually it is four type of pigment, it's a composition. Which are these four type of pigments? These are known as photosynthetic pigment because they are required or they are useful for photosynthesis process, and that's why these are known as photosynthetic pigments. They are mainly of four types: chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, xanthophylls and carotenoids. First, chlorophyll A, so actually responsible for bright or blue-green color. So main pigment present for photosynthesis process. Second one is chlorophyll B, that is yellow-green color. Third one, xanthophylls, yellow color. And fourth one, last one is carotenoid, it's a yellow to yellow-orange color. So in green plants, not only the green color pigment or not only chlorophyll is present, but is actually combination or composition of these four type of pigments, various pigments which play important role in the process of photosynthesis, and this four type of pigments, they are chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, xanthophyll and carotenoids. The pigments are substances that have an ability to absorb light at specific wavelength. Okay, so you know about the Rydberg. You are familiar to this wavelength of visible spectrum also. So this four type of pigments actually they are having ability to absorb light of specific wavelength in green plants, and which is responsible for photosynthesis process. Some graphs related with photosynthesis process. Here in this figure you can see the three type of graphs A, B, C. Graph A, it shows the absorption of spectrum of chlorophyll A, B and carotenoids. These pigments are present in green plants. Figure B is about the graph showing action spectrum of photosynthesis process. And third one, the graphic representation is the action spectrum of photosynthesis is superimposed on absorption of spectrum of chlorophyll A. In graph A, you can see the various pigments and then wavelength of light for maximum absorption. Now we can compare by studying this figure A, where the maximum absorption of light take place. Three different pigments you can see, you can study in this graph, that is blue color, green color and yellow color as per their pigments present. Now can you tell that where the maximum peak of this wavelength absorption of light we can see here? Is it chlorophyll A or carotenoid or chlorophyll B? Now you can find out it yourself. Figure B is showing the wavelength at which maximum photosynthesis process occur in plant. Okay, you can see the wavelength at which there is a maximum absorption of chlorophyll A. So blue and red color region is shown higher rate of photosynthesis process. So we can conclude that the chlorophyll A is the chief pigment associated with photosynthesis process. Third figure, that is figure C, is a complete one-to-one overlap between the absorption spectrum of chlorophyll A and the action spectrum of photosynthesis. Here, so one side you can see the rate of photosynthesis process and another side you can see the absorption. These two mechanisms are denoted by black color and blue color. Color differentiation is there. So one side the light absorption is there and another side wavelength of light in nanometer is given. So by studying this figure you can compare about this. So this all graphs, all three figures, these are related with mechanism of photosynthesis. Now you can study in detail this graph and you can come to know about this different concept related with photosynthesis process. Figure A, that is about graph showing the absorption spectrum of chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B and carotenoids. It is denoted by different color. Differentiation is there. Easily you can understand. Graph B, that is the action spectrum of photosynthesis process. And third graph, that is showing action spectrum of photosynthesis, that is superimposed on absorption spectrum of chlorophyll A. So by studying this all three graph, by comparing this all three graph, you can come to know about the detailed mechanism of photosynthesis process and the various wavelength of light related with this. These graphs together show that the most of the photosynthesis process take place in the blue and red region of the spectrum. Some photosynthesis does not take place at the other wavelength of the visible spectrum. Now, let us see how this happens. Though chlorophyll is the major pigment responsible for trapping light, other thylakoid pigments like chlorophyll B, xanthophyll and carotenoids, which are called accessory pigments. So out of these four pigments, actually the chlorophyll A, this is main pigment at reaction center, that is essential or main pigment, and the rest of the pigment chlorophyll B, xanthophyll and carotenoids, which are required for this mechanism. It is helpful for this reaction and they are known as accessory pigments. Can also absorb light and transfer the energy to chlorophyll A. So they actually helpful to chlorophyll A for same mechanism. They do not enable wider range of wavelength of this incoming light to be utilized for photosynthesis process, but also protect chlorophyll A from photooxidation process.